Hey, welcome back to the show. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for more episodes of Right on the Money. That's where we discuss financial topics with advisors and fiduciaries right there in your area. Now today, our guest, Dan Kutzkey, founder and president of Maxwell Financial Group. And we've been talking about 401ks, something that just about everybody across the country has one or had one. And we're talking about some of those options. Now, Dan, when it comes to a question for you about your practice, do you focus on people who are retired or do you focus on pre-retirees?
Well, the truth is we focus on both. Ideally we want to catch people before they've made the big decision and they're making that leap. But we do also deal with people after the decision's been made, the step has been taken, and helping them kind of get the most out of that retirement. So we really work on both sides of the line there.
Nice. What's the best time? Do you give anybody a rule of thumb? Like if they're saying, hey, my kid just got their first job, when should somebody start saving for retirement?
Well, I think the canned answer for that one is as soon as possible, right? Every retiree will tell you, I wish I had started in my 20s. The reality is that most people don't really think about it until about 10, 15 years prior to retirement. Yeah. I tend to land somewhere in the middle of that. If you're thinking about it, you should be doing something about it. And so if that thought hits you in your 20s, great, you're one of the few. If it hits you later and you're just trying to explore those options, then if it's on your mind, do something about it. Talk to an advisor, CPA, whoever you think can be of help.
Nice. Now, you, sir, have helped literally hundreds of people retire successfully and stay retired. So if you have a question and you'd like to reach out to Dan, get some questions answered, and you'd mentioned that one of the best ways to get a hold of you is through the website, right?
That is correct. That's between that and our general email inbox, we typically get most of our contact through there. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, let's go back. So we've been talking about 401ks, old 401ks in particular. And let's talk a little bit now about some of the advanced, what I'm calling the advanced choices. So, of course, you have the option, of leaving your 401k where it was at. You have the option of rolling it to your new employer. I was assuming that's an option. But there's the other option of putting it into, say, an IRA. And so Dan, if somebody were to choose that, why would somebody choose that instead of rolling it into their new 401k?
Well, I think there's a couple of common reasons for rolling into an IRA versus, pushing the account forward into the new employer. The big one, and I've said this a lot in my career, is fees. Most people, and especially today, are very sensitive to the fee structures, but the truth is they don't exactly know what fees they're paying inside a 401k account, and inside of an IRA, it's a little more transparent. You have a little bit better control over how much it's costing you to manage the money, or if you're working with an advisor in that IRA, how much they're costing you to manage that money. And there's just a lot more transparency in that format that you can wrap your hands around.
So besides transparency, what about choices?
As far as choices, the IRA universe is pretty wide open. There's not a lot out there in the open market that you can't participate in with an IRA. And there's some notable exceptions, but for the most part, if it's an ETF or if it's a mutual fund, a stock that you're particularly fond of, even some bond strategies, most of that, and we're talking, 30 to 40,000 options are available in the IRA universe that you really won't see in a 401k space.
Wow, 30 to 40,000 options. That's crazy. So if somebody's deciding or considering that, what any quick considerations off the top of your head that somebody might take into should I do an IRA? Should I do a 401k?
Well, I think some of the key considerations have to do with timing. How far you are away from retirement. Yeah. If you're working with an advisor, they can really help you hone in on that answer. Number two, the size of your old 401k and what you're rolling into. New plans, fees tend to be a little bit of a mystery, and until you work with them for a little while, you won't really know exactly what it's costing you. So IRA is a little bit more of a safe bet, given the transparency topic we mentioned earlier. It's definitely a clearer path to take with a lot more options available to you if you have a larger size account. So I think those are probably the top two that I would really hone in on when making that decision.
Now, one thing that I hear that there's a lot of talk about is annuities. Do annuities, are they something to consider here or not?
Annuities are widely used in this space, in place of that IRA. And I think a lot of that, again, going back to my comment on timing with respect to how long you have until you're really looking at pushing that retirement button. First and foremost, annuities, they don't take the market risk, so that is very popular with folks that have spent a number of years collecting these funds and these retirement accounts. They want to make sure that they get the most out of it and that what they work so hard to save stays in one piece. Annuities provide a lot of comfort in that regard, and there's a lot of options in that world, almost as many as there are just out in the IRA universe as a whole. So definitely this is a common option that is widely chosen.
Interesting. Again, this sounds like lots and lots of choices for people out there. What else should people be doing to prepare for retirement? I mean, most people, very few pensions out there anymore. So more and more responsibility on the individual to get ready for retirement. But in addition to it, like say your 401k, what other things should a person be considering as they're thinking about retirement?
Well, Dennis, that's a big, broad question there. And I'm going to come at it from left field a little bit, because one of the things that I find to be of critical importance when you're looking at retirement and how do I prepare for it, and it goes back to something I learned early in my career, talking about the vision. What is my vision for retirement? What do I see myself doing? As a financial planner, it's really hard to help someone get to a goal if they have no idea what that goal looks like. So I would encourage each and every person that's considering retirement, what they can do is prepare yourself, both mentally and financially, of what it is that you want to do in retirement, because that's going to guide your financial decisions. Maybe you don't need a lot of money for that lifestyle. Maybe you don't need a handful of other things that we as planners might ask you to do if that's not really part of your retirement picture. And when I mention those things, I'm talking about, okay, do we have family to consider? In which case, we're going to want to talk about estate planning, wills, trusts, the life insurance to protect the estate, questions of your own health and how long you expect to be in retirement. And we answer some really tough questions when we go down that road. I think that's kind of where we start the conversation, but I really encourage each and every client to try, even if you're young, try to picture that retirement. What do you see having in that retirement? And it's okay if that picture changes over time. That's what we're here for. As advisors to many clients, we want to make sure that we're helping guide and direct those goals, even when they change.
That is so awesome. So Dan, thank you so much for being on the episode today. We really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Dennis. I appreciate being on the show.
Don't forget that you can watch full Right on the Money Show episodes on our official YouTube channel or at rightonthemoneyshow.com. That's the spot where you can get up-to-date financial news and insights from the top insurance and financial professionals in your area. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.